Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how I created this wraparound tumbler for Ace. It is a fully covered tumbler, and I think this turned out so cute. He's going to be so excited. This tumbler in particular came from Heat Transfer Warehouse. They sent this to me. It also comes with a metal straw. I just kept it out for the video because it makes noise when I'm trying to film. But it has the metal straw and a lid, and it's one of those thermal tumblers. So the kids use these all the time. So I'm really excited to show both Ace and Evie their new tumblers. So let's make one for Evie. So the tumbler comes in a box like this. I've got it right here, and then it's wrapped in plastic. Your straw is inside. We're going to remove the lid. And the first thing you want to do is wipe the tumbler down with a lint-free cloth, and I would spray it with a little bit of rubbing alcohol or denatured alcohol to get all of the oils and lint and anything that might interfere with your transfer off of the tumbler. So you might notice I've got a toaster oven back here, and no, I'm not fixing everybody breakfast today. We are going to sublimate this tumbler in the convection oven. Now, I do have a new mug press coming that will sublimate the full size, but it's on back order. So instead of waiting any longer, I thought I would go ahead and try the convection oven method. If you decide to try this method, just make sure that you're using a convection oven that you don't cook in. This lets off some gases that are not safe for food consumption. You should not put this in your regular cooking oven. And if you're going to use a convection oven, make it a dedicated craft room oven. So that being said, we have our tumbler. We've got it all cleaned off. Now we need to make an image, and everybody always asks me for a template. I don't provide the templates because every tumbler is different, and I don't want to give you a template, have you print it out, and then it doesn't fit. So what I do is just take a tape measure, and you're going to measure top to bottom. This particular one is exactly 8 inches top to bottom. And then you're going to measure around. And this one measures 9 1/4 around, and it is a solid, it's the same width throughout. Some of them are graduated, so you're going to have to, accommodate or adjust your image accordingly for that. But this one is just, it's the same from top to bottom. So 8 by 9, 8 1/4, what was that, 8 inches? 8 inches by 9 1/4. So what I do is do the height exactly, and then I might add 1/4 inch to the width. So I would make it maybe 9 1/2, so that I make sure that I have that little bit of overlap. So I've already prepared my image, and all I'm going to do is drop that into my Sawgrass folder. Now there are a few things you're going to need in addition to a convection oven to create these tumblers. You're going to want some heat transfer gloves. These are very hot to work with. That oven is set to 400 degrees, and you want to make sure that you have some protection. We're going to need our heat transfer tape. A must, you have to have the heat transfer tape. You need a heat gun or a blow dryer. I have a heat gun. I will link all of this in the description below the video, but you can do it with a regular blow dryer. And then you're going to need this shrink wrap sleeve. I will link these as well. This one's a little bit larger than it needs to be, but it works fine. That's what I used on Ace's. But this is going to provide the pressure since we don't have the mug press. You can also just wrap this with masking tape completely and do it that way, but I find this works a little bit better and a little bit easier, and I don't spend all that time trying to tape the whole thing up. So while our image is printing, what I wanted to add is that you must be using sublimation ink and a sublimation printer. I have the SG500, and it prints with sublimation ink, obviously. Some people convert an inkjet printer to sublimation, but don't confuse that with thinking that you can do this with an inkjet printer. It simply won't work. The magic is in the ink of the sublimation. So you need to use a sublimation printer. And again, everything's linked in the description below. So I've got my print from the SG500. Now, this is a frozen one I'm making for Evie, and I'm not going to get into the copyright. Please do your research before you create images, but this is what she wanted, so this is what I'm making her. I'm going to flip the camera around and show you how I prepare this for the tumbler. So give me a second here. So I have my image, and the first thing I'm going to do is cut off all of the white edges. I'm using a paper trimmer, but you can use scissors. You don't need this. It's just quick and easy for the video. I don't have to worry about trying to be straight, and I'm the world's worst scissor cutter. All right, so we've got our image all cut down. The first thing we need to do is apply this to the tumbler. So I'm going to lay the image down, and I'm going to make sure that it's all the way to the lip of the cup. If there's any difference, if it's a little bit short, I'm going to make sure that that white is on the bottom. That's just my preference. And then I'm going to wrap the side up, just like so. And keeping it as tight as I can, I'm going to roll it the rest of the way up and pull this side up. And you want to make sure that you're all the way up to the edge. And you want to make sure that it's completely tight. So I'm going to hold it sort of like this. You can see that. I don't know. I can get this glare out of here. So I'm holding it like this. And I'm making sure that I'm pulling this top layer as tight as I can. And that it's top to bottom covered. While doing that, I'm going to grab my heat transfer tape. I'm going to put it on the open side, just like that, and then I'm going to use that to pull it tight. So I'm putting it on this side and then pushing it forward, making sure it's really tight, and I'm going to do that on this end, and then pull it really tight. So I've got it like that. And now I'm going to put a piece of tape all the way down that seam. And pull it tight. Okay, now I'm going to go and put tape all the way around the top, making sure that it folds in towards the inside of the cup, and that's just going to ensure that the top is covered all the way around. So again, I'm just going to put tape about halfway on the cup, halfway in the air, just like that. And then I'm just going to fold it in to the inside of the cup, just like so. And then I'm going to make sure that I've got that covered all the way around. Need another piece of tape. And we're going to do the same thing. Just going to fold that in. So now I've got the top completely covered with tape all the way around. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. What we're doing is creating the pressure that's going to hold the image against the cup. Okay, now, if you don't want to do the shrink wrap method that I'm going to do right now, you can just continue to wrap this entire thing in masking tape so that it's completely covered, and that's going to provide more pressure. What I'm going to do is use these shrink wrap sleeves, and again, I have these linked in the description below. Just a sleeve, it's open on the top and the bottom. You just slide it over your cup, just like so. I'm going to put it about halfway, my cup about halfway inside. I'm going to put my hand inside the cup, and I'm going to use my heat gun, and I'm just going to start heating in the middle out. So I'm going to actually put my thumb here and hold the top about like so. And then I'm just going to start heating in the middle out. And this shrink wrap will just do just that. It'll start shrinking up. And I'm kind of going from the center down and getting it to secure and shrink up around the cup. Blowing downward. I'm just going to keep shrinking it. And I'm going to flip it around and blow up towards the top opening. creating that shrink wrap. And then when I get to the top, I'm just going to fold the rest of that in. And keep heating until I get all the wrinkles out. So just keep your heat gun moving. You might want to wear gloves. But as you're heating, all those wrinkles will start to come out. Don't hold it in one spot too long, because it can melt right through. So we've got our tumbler all shrink wrapped, and you can see mine looks just like this. Now on the back there's a couple places that have, but it's tight, so I'm not worried about that. So in my particular convection oven, it is not tall enough or deep enough to stand the tumbler up like this. So I'm gonna lay it on the side, and I just have a piece of butcher paper. You can see I've used this before. I just put this on the shelf just to give it a flat, even surface to sit on. But that is entirely up to you. It worked for me, so that's what I'm gonna do. Now, put your heat gloves on. Again, this oven is 400 degrees. I actually have, you can see right below there, I've got an oven thermometer, and I put that inside the oven to make sure that it is up to 400 degrees. You're going to lose a little bit of heat when you open it up, but I'm just gonna set it in there. I'm gonna set my tumbler right on top, and I'm going to set this for 4.5 minutes. So at about halfway through, I'll put it at 2 minutes, 25 seconds. I am going to turn it. So I'm going to put 2 minutes, 25 seconds, start. So when this goes off, I'm going to put my gloves on. I'm going to flip the tumbler over just to rotate it a little bit. And then I'm going to do it for an additional 2 minutes and 25 seconds. So our time is almost up. I'm going to put my gloves on and get ready to turn the tumbler. So I'm turning the tumbler, and as you turn it, you will start to see your image popping through. I will link this particular convection oven. This is the only one I've tried, so I can't really recommend any other ones. This one worked for me, and for me, I put the setting on turbo. I put it on 425 degrees about, just because you lose heat when you open it up. So I put it on 425, it's on turbo, and then I just put the oven timer to stay on. Now as your image is heating up, you will start to see that transfer coming through the paper. And once you see that, that's a really good indication that you're getting close on your time. So I'm going to keep watching it, keep watching my time. I'm going to do about 4.5 minutes total. So I just took this out of the oven, and I just wanted you to see how well you can see the image coming through. I'm going to set this right here on this pad. This is from Artistry, and it's kind of similar to the pad of a heat press. It's just a great place to put your item while it's cooling down. So I'm going to let this cool down just a little bit, and then we're going to take the plastic off. So you're just going to start by cutting the plastic in a couple places, and then you can start pulling it off. Be careful not to cut your mug or scratch it. This is still pretty hot. So I'm going to keep my gloves on. But you're just going to start removing that plastic wrap. So once you have the plastic removed, you're just going to start grabbing your tape and pull the paper off. And once you get it started, it's pretty simple to get it out. Again, I'm wearing gloves because this is still warm. But you can just go ahead and take your paper off, and oh my goodness, Evie's gonna go nuts. So here is the tumbler. So cute, and you can see right here's where my seam was, but you can barely tell. I have just a little bit of overlap. So this is our finished tumbler. I hope you guys enjoyed this. These are so fun, and they're going to make great holiday gifts, birthday gifts, all kinds of things I can think you could use these for. Office gifts, logos, branding, all kinds of things. So thanks so much for watching. If you guys have anything that you would like to see me sublimate, I still have several sublimation videos coming. I have so many fun new products to show you. But if you have anything in particular you would like, please leave it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to click that bell so that you're notified every time there's a new video. And if you enjoyed this video, here's some other ones you might enjoy. Thanks so much for watching. Never stop making. Bye-bye.